Hello, everyone. Minasan, konnichiwa. I'm Torrey Martin from the Digital Transformation Division of Fujitsu. Welcome to the Fujitsu Transformation Podcast. Okay, transformation is all about trying new things, right? And let's try a few new twists in this podcast episode. So in the past, I've had one guest. I've had two guests. Today, let's have three guests. And of course, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about AI, specifically what it means to the enterprise space. So I'm very happy to welcome back two previous guests from Fujitsu in Europe, as well as a new connection with a Fujitsu partner. So please let me welcome Ron Commandeur, Portfolio and Strategy Lead in the European Modernization COE.
Thanks, Torrey. Good to be back.
Good to have you, my friend. Next, we have Max Schulze-Berl, Head of the European Modernization COE. Good to see you, Max.
Hi, good to be here again.
Awesome. And we have Artur Vitek, Co-founder and Vice President at Grape Up.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me today. Very pleasure to share.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. We have a ton of combined experience between the three of you. I'm just the dumb guy. And we have a hot topic for sure. So let's start by learning a bit about Artur. Can you briefly walk us through your career journey and what originally pulled you towards technology and innovation?
Well, personally, I've been into computer technology since Atari 800 XL era, so quite a while. I started my first company back in my university days, a long time ago, which turned into a journey of building products with Silicon Valley startups and the large enterprises that eventually acquired them. So that were kind of the early days of cloud, and we adapted agile startup methodologies to large enterprise environment, which is interesting. And that showed them that building digital products can be done better and faster. So simply put, allowing them to ship products more adjusted to what customer expected. But today, GrapeUp is at the forefront of applying modern technologies such as AI to solve business problems. So as a specialized AI native consultancy, we help them deliver or modernize their mission critical apps with a level of speed and efficiency previously unseen in the industry.
Awesome. Cool. That's great. Ron, if I could ask you, we all know AI is moving incredibly fast. How do you balance the speed of startups and partners with the governance and realities of large enterprises?
Yeah, that's a good question, Torrey. Obviously, Fujitsu being a large SI, we understand how large enterprises work and what comes with large enterprises in respect to processes, governance, standards, security type of challenges. The main reason why we started working with GrapeUp is basically to get some access to innovation at speed. We can innovate, we try to innovate within Fujitsu, customers see us innovate, but it always works better if you have a small AI native, cloud native kind of company like GrapeUp. Because customers understand, okay, Fujitsu, large enterprise, they understand how we work, but they also can bring the speed and quality of an AI native company like GrapeUp. And of course, it's a balancing act. And we understand enterprises and we can understand and work with GrapeUp. For GrapeUp, it's access to enterprise customers. That's just working for them. For us, it's speed, agility. And the moment we can start innovating, it takes a bit longer, and we can speed up the whole process by using GrapeUp. And of course, give them the freedom to innovate. And customers understand that and give us a bit more freedom as well to innovate.
Got it. Cool. It sounds like a good match.
Exactly.
And I want to work more with companies like GrapeUp. That's exciting. Like the speed part, especially. I work in Japan. It's a little bit slower here, so I need your speed. Awesome. Okay, let me get Max involved here. Max, what are the biggest challenges you see, not just technical, but also organizational, that slow AI adoption in enterprise companies?
Yeah, I think it's fundamentally organizational in most cases and not technical. So if you think, for example, about data sets that you need for AI to make the most out of your AI use case, many companies, these data sets, the data quality is not there. And that's from my point of view, one of the main reasons why you can easily create a pilot and have a successful pilot, but then taking that pilot into production is incredibly hard, because then you need suddenly all of your data, and it's not there, and it's not in the quality that you need it. Another thing I would say is the whole resistance against change, so the people factor, right? So you have, interestingly, from middle management, what we see in studies from middle management, you have a resistance against AI, probably due to a loss or fear of loss of their job or the power setting that they are in. But most interesting, I saw that in a study recently, is also Gen Z is avoiding to use AI, at least in parts, which I think is super interesting, because usually the youngest generation is the one that is pushing technology even more. Now it seems to be the case that I would say our generation here in this call is the one that is most enthusiastic about the whole AI thing, and the others not. So I found that quite surprising and super interesting. And well, the next huge challenge that we haven't even talked about is, of course, the whole governance and security topic of AI. So that's a huge challenge for companies. And what's interesting for me personally is if you have a look at the market and you see those companies that are rising with AI, they invest more into the people and processes part and less into the technology part alone. And they see AI as a business transformation challenge, and they accept that challenge, right? And then they are willing to rethink and adapt to the way they work because there is AI now.
Got it. Artur, can I ask for your opinion, your perspective?
Yeah, I agree with Max. The data foundation is obviously the most important. Your AI is only as good as your data is. So that's number one. And a lot of companies forget about this aspect and rushing into hey, let's find a nice use case for AI. And sometimes even forgetting, like, hey, is AI really a good technology to solve my business problem, which is the other way of thinking about it. So that's why a lot of struggle came in when you think about it. So we recommend to customers a lot of a more holistic approach. So you need to basically prepare your foundation well and modernize. Perhaps prepare for interoperability. You need to get your data and APIs in place and reduce legacy barriers. So that's what we do with Fujitsu. But the other aspect is also that AI is not perfect yet. So look, potential of applying AI in various use cases is huge, but it's not yet at a level allowing you to ship production enterprise grade, operating as a human would, right? It's not there yet. We see a very fast pace of getting there, but we're not there yet. This is holding some companies back. Projects get stuck at the POC level because they're not 100% operating at that quality level, especially for some organizations like banks where they need 100%. Well, and the other aspect is, of course, waiting because of the pace of development of AI, and various tools, acceleration tools, which get better every week as we speak. Probably Anthropic drops something. Some companies may think it's better to wait a bit, right?
Is that a valid strategy? Sounds a little dangerous, right?
Yeah, well, we advise not to wait. Well, the sooner you start, the better you get positioned for what's coming, right? And you don't know what's coming, right? So apart from establishing this foundation, as I mentioned, there's some experimentation and learning that applies to your business-specific use cases. Even if AI is not solving all the problems that you have today, it may solve some of them already, and this opens very new opportunities for you.
Got it. Ron, what do you think? Is it good to get into the habit of trying these new things?
Yeah, and I agree with Artur. I think the cost of doing nothing is higher than the cost of experimentation on this one. We have seen customers mentioning, okay, we will wait for a better AI. It's not just about better AI, better tools. It's a lot about learning to use AI, learning to change your processes, your ways of working. What we do a lot in our team is just experiment with tools, try new tools, see how it works, see how it impacts, and primarily see what you can do different than what you couldn't do before. I think that level of experimentation is critical. So you can wait, but your people will be, let's say, if you wait 2 years, 2 years behind the market, 2 years behind the technology, 2 years behind in learning and experimenting. I think that's the key thing for me.
And if I can mention that there are two aspects of waiting. One is waiting on for our business to implement AI to solve some kind of a problem, right? Business problem. And the other way is my workforce waiting to learn AI at a pace that enables them accelerate fast enough, right? Because the other one will be a catastrophe if you don't do, right? Because everyone is doing it. So if you're gonna fall behind simply if you're not gonna, like in the enterprise world, every person, every employee needs to understand and learn it, right? And do it fast, right?
Got it. And that's an important focus is on the people, and people at different personas, right? They learn in different ways. They will use AI in different ways.
Exactly.
I'm in the digital transformation area, right? So like for me, it's fun. Give me some new tools. I want to try it, see what I can do, try to break it, right? But not everybody's like that. So it's good to have a wide view there. Cool. Then we always get the question, is it worth it? Is AI actually, does it have a return on investment? What do you think, Artur? Are companies measuring ROI from AI in the wrong way? Or are they asking the wrong questions? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it falls down to what I mentioned about what the expectation towards AI quality is today. They expect it should be like human, and definitely AI is not the answer to every kind of problem that they're trying to solve. So I think it's whenever they applying AI to a case which is appropriate for that specific thing, the ROI can be there. Whereas if they're looking to use AI somewhere and it's fragmented, non-holistic for the enterprise, without proper establishing the foundations, they usually get very low ROI. That's what we see in across our customers that we work with.
Got it. Max or Ron, what do you think? How can leaders tell the difference between real capability and marketing hype?
That's a good question. So I think there are some visible signals or some clear signals. For me personally, if a provider talks about the limitations of the technology, is always a good sign, right? So they know what the technology is capable of and where the limitations are. Do they have a clear transformation process, a clear methodology, and also a clear testing process? The whole part around governance, security needs to be integrated by heart. And probably the most important one for me is, do they actually have references that will pick up the phone when you call them and have questions about that partner? So that would be maybe the most strongest signal. Yeah. And by the way, GrapeUp checks all the boxes here. So that's why we love to work with them.
Yeah, let me just add to that, Torrey.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of hype, of course, in the market, and the marketing is brilliant. Everybody's marketing AI is the next big thing, silver bullet. I think customers and leaders in customers' organizations, they like you to tackle a small problem in their environment. Give you an example. A customer asks us, can you build a small agent for us that handles my email to reduce my email load? Right. Sounds a very basic use case, and Arthur and the company probably say, well, we have that done, built dozens of times. But actually doing it in the customer's environment with access to their limited environment and limited processes, that's where they can tell, okay, these people know what they're talking about. And I think that's the critical thing around capability versus the hype.
Right. And asking those business process questions to understand the problem better, I think is a good sign to start with as well. Cool. Artur, can I ask you, what's your favorite AI success story right now?
If I think about, maybe not favorite, but the one that to me has a lot of significance, is legacy modernization within enterprise. Well, which was traditionally very difficult. People who build those kind of legacy solutions are no longer around, knowledge is lost. Systems are huge and require, as you know, probably traditionally large investment and took a long time. But by the time you finish modernization, the circumstances, the business environment might have changed. So there's not a lot of CIOs willing to put their career on this. So there's a lot of hesitance traditionally. But today, if you think about the AI is an accelerator, it solves all these problems. It lets you understand legacy code. It translates it into modern code fast, automatically almost. And it allows CIOs to spend much less and get results faster. So I think it's a tremendous example of how this technology can help.
Awesome, cool. All right, let's look ahead. I'm gonna go to Max. Looking ahead 5 years. No, wait, 5 years is ridiculous in AI terms. Let's look 3 years ahead. What does doing AI well actually look like inside an enterprise?
3 years. I think we have to make that 3 week story. Because
Okay.
no one. So 3 years in IT is already a very long time and hard to predict. 3 years in AI is impossible, I would say, to predict. And that's due to the fact that we have these major milestones in AI development. So the speed is so fast that you have these major milestones that divide the industry into a before and an after. So Anthropic launched MCP servers. I would say that was a major milestone. Or just a couple of weeks ago, we saw OpenClaw being announced and then taking the industry by storm. Now NVIDIA has launched their NemoClaw, and suddenly we are talking about totally different possibilities that we have with AI, and you cannot foresee that. You don't know what people are working on at the moment. But generally speaking, I think doing well with AI means you, as Ron already said, you have to try it. You have to experiment with it. You have to work it. You have to rethink about how can I improve myself? How can I improve me? Change the way I work, change the way my company works, and how can I integrate that more? And there is more than Chat AI or ChatGPT or Copilot, right? There's way more out there. And I think that all of us, we need to work more and learn more. And my hottest tip here would be you can use AI to actually learn about AI and let it brief you about the latest developments and what you should try for your use case.
Nice. Yes. Ron, Artur, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, let add one thing.
Sure.
I think with any new technology that we have been adopting over the years, so let's make it a cloud or mobile apps. In the beginning, there's resistance and people have to adjust to it. Doing AI well basically means, well, that we don't talk about AI as a thing that's happening, or we need to do something with AI. It's just there. I think in a couple of years from now, we just take it for granted. It's there. We basically focus on the interesting things, the ideation, the new solutions, and all the legwork, the repetitive work is being done via AI. You don't think about AI as a separate thing. I think if you reach that level, combined with, of course, the experimentation we have been discussing already, I think then you're doing AI well.
Got it.
And I think, in the software space, which is kind of our in proximity of our business, and we all build digital products for our customers. One thing we can predict, I believe, is that the building products will be more about creating and managing product requirements rather than the code itself, which will be automatically created by AI. So building good products will be more achievable, but also it will require a better managing the requirements. But on a more general level, I think to your question, AI doing well in some time in the future means that the enterprises can ship better products faster and cheaper to everyone.
Got it. Right.
That means
Awesome.
we're there.
Right. In 3 weeks. Awesome. Cool. Okay, I got to ask you guys the magic wand question. I'm going to ask this in turn. So if you had a magic wand, what bold change would you make in the AI space? Let's go to Artur first.
Well, my magic wand would remove the hallucinations and allow AI to respond, I don't know, or I'm not sure, and maybe ask more questions if you needed to respond in an appropriate way, it would be more human. And also, I think it would let enterprises plan and adopt AI in a more smoother way. I think that's the pretty much big thing.
Yeah, I want to trust it more, definitely. Yes. Max, how about you? What would you use your magic wand for?
So as a big fan of the podcast, I knew that this question was coming, right? So thanks. I thought about it, and I would say Google's old motto, don't be evil. I see a big race for capability at the moment from all these global AI providers, but we still have them to keep accountable against a kind of ethical standard. We cannot let them run on their own just because they want to win the race. So I think there is an important part is sovereignty and also ethical standards we need to hold them accountable against.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Ron?
Yeah, one of the biggest things with AI, of course, AI is all about the data, having the data, access to the data, and that happens to be one of the biggest bottlenecks for many customers nowadays. They have so many data in structured, unstructured format, processes, legacy environments. If you have your magic wand, you could say, well, we can use all these great models and our data is just in the ready state to use these models, then we can really speed up innovation, because access to the data, using the data with the new models is one of the biggest bottlenecks. So that's my magic wand.
Awesome. I think those are all doable things if we work together. Keep our eyes on the prize. In 3 weeks. Exactly. Cool. Hey, time flies when you're having fun, right, guys? It's been awesome having 3 guests. Thank you for the great conversation. I think it's really interesting and valuable to talk with a leader from a company that's quite different than Fujitsu. Max and Ron, thank you very much for bringing Artur into this conversation, and I want to talk to him more.
Yeah.
I feel, AI is such a huge topic. We could make like 10 more episodes with the 4 of us, no problem. And Artur, just thank you for your time and your insights. It's really cool to meet you. Pleasure to get to know you, and always a great opportunity, a great chance to collaborate with both you, Ron and Max, very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Before we go, let me please ask the audience, that means all of you out there, to connect with each of us on LinkedIn. Would love to continue the conversation with you. And please also explore both GrapeUp's and Fujitsu's capabilities in AI. And we also want to know what you think. There's a quick little episode survey link below. We would absolutely love to have your feedback. All right. Thank you again, Artur, Max, Ron. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. See ya.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.